Some of you might have heard the story up in Michigan recently. There was a bad flood and people had to be evacuated. Well, everything was made worse by two dam failures up in Michigan. So this story comes out in The Guardian. Thousands of rundown US dams would kill people if they fail, study found. More than 15,000 dams in the US would likely kill people if they failed. At least 2,300 of them are in poor or unsatisfactory condition, according to recent data from the federal government's National Inventory of Dams. So most of them are due to neglect, and they have not been kept up at all over the years. So with heavy rains that occurred up in Michigan, there were two dam failures, and it caused catastrophic flooding and forced thousands to evacuate from their homes in the middle of the coronavirus pandemic. The problem will only become more serious as the climate crisis disrupts rain patterns, experts warn. The average age of a US dam is 57 years, and many, like the ones in Michigan, were built in the early 20th century when states had not yet set safety standards. US dams receive a D rating from the American Society of Civil Engineers. In most of the recent review in 2017, about 70% of dams are regulated by states, and another 5% are regulated by the federal government. But many are not being forced to make needed repairs. Unfortunately, some state programs don't have the resources they need to follow through. These can be very expensive repairs. So if the owner is unable or unwilling to do that, it takes a lot of time and resources to go through the enforcement process. Many dams, for example, were built by neighborhood developers who wanted to create bodies of water for recreation. Then they were turned over to homeowner associations unprepared to maintain them. In total, there are more than 91,000 dams in the US, according to the National Inventory of Dams, a project of the US Army Corps of Engineers. About 17% of them are classified as having high hazard potential, meaning the loss of human life is likely if the dam fails. Another 12% have significant hazard potential, meaning a failure probably wouldn't kill people, but it would cause economic loss, environmental damage, disruption of lifeline facilities, or impact other concerns. Yeah, I tell you what, it uprooted all those people from their homes up there in Michigan where, they had the two dam failures. About 20% of state regulated high hazard dams do not have emergency action plans. That sounds like America, right along with no emergency action plans for anything. Those plans would dictate how an owner should monitor for possible failure and warn officials downstream. Repairing dams and preparing emergency plans will become even more important with more frequent, intense rainfall. If the ground is already saturated with rain before a heavy downpour, a dam could overtop or even burst. Over time, hopefully, we'll see improvements in specific dams that may be vulnerable to this, but it will take time and unfortunately will take expense and costs for owners to be able to upgrade. So I was looking at a lot of the pictures of Michigan. Woo, I tell you what, I wouldn't trade places with those folks. What a mess they got up there with that situation. But y'all, please tell me what you think. I'm not surprised. I have been hearing about a lot of the infrastructure in America needs work. It's not just the dams, I've heard bridges are in bad shape around the country. Some of the overpass, have not been inspected like they should be inspected. So I'm not really overly surprised about this story, but it's definitely one of those stories we need to pay attention to because we are getting record breaking rainfall. The rain is very heavy depending on where you live. And I can easily see how, a dam or even a levee could be breached in the country. We saw a few of them breached even last year. So I'm not surprised. But y'all, please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.